Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Happy Mother's Day and welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we'll reveal resources that supply essential help for your disabled loved one. Then, we'll share a special way to make mom smile. We'll help you stop a stroke before it strikes. Plus, your third act of life has arrived, and your plans can finally take center stage. But what happens if your mate's written a different script for this phase? We'll offer advice on sharing the spotlight. And in this age of Facebook, email, and online accounts, dealing with your digital assets better become part of your estate plan. We'll help you design an update.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Parents of children with special needs have special needs of their own. Finding ways to provide for their children, no matter what their age, is not an easy task. But special help has arrived through a website called livespecial.com, created by the National Council of Jewish Women in Cleveland. A special member, Elaine Eisner, is here to share how special needs are met through this special website. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lori.
Well, you were not only involved in designing the website, you had a need for it yourself, right?
That's true. About 6 years ago, my husband and I realized that our daughter was born with some disabilities. And at the time, we didn't know anything about special needs. And so we started doing a bunch of research and trying to figure out what to do and where to go. And we were completely overwhelmed. And surprising, because I grew up, I was an attorney, so I figured I could figure this out.
Right.
There had to be a place to go, and there wasn't.
There wasn't any. So is that really how the idea for the website came to be?
Indirectly, yes. At the time, I was on the executive board of National Council of Jewish Women, and they were looking for their next signature project, something to go out and help meet a need that is underserved in the community. And so I was talking to them, and one of the older women there had said, wow, in the 70s, we did something called the All Access Guide to Cleveland. Maybe we can do a resource guide. And I said, the All Access Guide to Cleveland? Well before the American Disabilities Act, these very insightful women went out and measured every building in Cleveland to see, seriously, what was handicap accessible for people then in wheelchairs, because that was really very limited access. And so this was born to be the next generation of something they started over 40 years ago.
Amazing.
That's what I said.
So tell us how the website works.
Okay, so very easy. You go to livespecial.com and you can go in and search from anything from a therapist to a dentist to a doctor. In my case, we were looking for some summer activities for our daughter this year. And it's really all encompassing. I can look by zip code, I can look by diagnosis if your child is suddenly diagnosed. And the real nice thing about livespecial.com is that it is comprehensive. So for me, it's for my 6-year-old daughter, and it helps us, but it will be there for a 60-year-old and needing to know where to go for housing, where to go for some vocational services when you age out of all the programs from school-age programs.
Right. Is there a way for individuals to kind of connect and get that social support too on it?
There is. We started with what was the old forums, and they're still out there, but modern technology goes so fast, and so now we have Facebook groups and Twitter groups, and it's been such a great journey for me to meet other families and other moms that have the same experience, and we can talk and share our ideas.
Sure, that always helps. And I understand you were even surprised when you were searching for some help for your daughter as to what access there was.
So Scott and I were very involved in the whole creation of the site, and I would often go to the volunteer days where they were literally calling hundreds and hundreds of organizations to see if they fit the criteria. And I had one woman come up to me and said, hey, there's this overnight camp. And I was like, what? An overnight camp that would take Alana? And she's like, well, not now. She's got to be 8. At the time, I think she was 4. And I just looked at her and I was like, how amazing, because I grew up going to overnight camp.
Yeah, me too.
And it was just part of who I am. I spent years there, and to see that there's a place that will allow for Alana to experience that is amazing.
You just need to get the people to hear about it now, right?
Exactly. So one way that we are doing it is obviously we do it by viral. If you see the website and you like it, and keep moving forward. But Northeast Ohio Parent Magazine, in conjunction with National Council of Jewish Women, is launching an insert for a June issue of Northeast Ohio Parent Magazine, which is geared towards Live Special. It will have all the resources, but more importantly, professionally written articles on estate planning, on where to go for activities. I just read one on alternative therapies, you know, whether it's horseback riding or swimming. So I think it's a start to an annual supplement, and we're really excited about it.
All right, good information. If you're the parent of a special needs child, or you know someone who is, you always know there's a new situation, a new challenge that needs a new answer. Now there is one place where you can find help, support, and services for each issue that occurs, livespecial.com. My thanks to Elaine Eisner for connecting us to this very special resource.
Thank you so much for having me.
Find out more by calling the National Council of Jewish Women at 216-378-2204 or click to www.livespecial.com. Next, Mom's the Word. But first, when Mr. Rogers put on one of his many sweaters and asked, "Won't you be my neighbor?" it warmed our hearts. But did you ever wonder where his wardrobe came from? We'll unbutton our lips and leave you the answer when we return.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
The warm welcome Fred Rogers gave to his viewers was made extra special because it was his own mother who knitted many of his signature sweaters.
When we're growing up, it's all about us. But as we get older, we realize it was really our moms who made most of our meaningful memories. So she deserves more than just one day to honor her dedication. Dentist Steve Marsh is here with tales of children who have given treasured moms the gift of never-ending smiles. That's so nice.
Yeah, thanks.
So we know your dad was a dentist, but how did your mom really influence your ambitions?
Well, it's so funny, and I think this is such a nice day, especially being the father of two daughters. But my mom was a teacher, and she taught into her 70s, so she was wonderful instructing us. And it's one of the reasons I like to teach dentistry, whether on the show or to other dentists or dental students. The other way she really influenced me was I was the fourth of four, and when I was 7 years old, my brother, who was the closest one to me, went off to college. And I asked Mom, how did I know how to sew and cook and crochet and knit? And it was because my mom had taught me those things. She said, I always worried I was in my 40s, and if something happened to me, it'd be just you and Dad, and I wanted you to be capable. So she taught me even those little things. So
that's so great,
yeah, it's a great story.
So, and you have stories about moms here on this Mother's Day to tell us. And,
right.
And teeth and gifting stories, right?
So we thought we'd do that. Again, I mentioned my two daughters, and my wife Wendy is the mother of two daughters. There's the three of them, Abby, Stephanie, and Wendy, and now Stephanie's a mom, and Abby's about to get married. And beautiful smiles, but beautiful women, and each in their own right very successful. So
Excellent.
I thought I'd focus on them, and then we'd look at some of these weddings and beautiful stories about teeth.
Mom stories, all right. There we go, we got some pictures.
So we mentioned about weddings. Sometimes, as we know, moms also take care of daughters, and she came to me right before her wedding. Her mom sent her in, and she said, we've got to do something with her teeth. She had braces, now she's 29 and about to get married. And we did porcelain veneers to give her this beautiful smile. I would also point out that underneath those teeth, she also had some decay. So the decay had to be removed first. And again, 8 porcelain veneers gave her a beautiful smile for her wedding. And fortunately, I had enough time to accomplish it. Another mother, for her daughter, she was getting married. You know, we spend money on wedding gowns and bands and that sort of thing. She came to me 6 weeks before the wedding, and the mom with the daughter said, I want to give her a beautiful smile. That's more important to me than all those other things. And so we said, what can we do? Obviously, we didn't have time. This would have been a good orthodontic case. But with the help of reshaping of the teeth and porcelain veneers, again, no metal, Lori, we were able to close the space and gave her a smile that she was proud of. And it was very nice when the wedding was over. They sent me a beautiful wedding picture of the bride and groom.
Oh.
So you mentioned in your lead-in that it's also about daughters giving back. So this mother's daughter is about to get married actually this coming August. And she had this old bridge work, Lori, that we see on a lot of people in our generation and older. They had porcelain on metal. It was fairly unsightly. And her daughter said, Mom, when I get married, I want you to have a beautiful smile and enjoy it. And so this is sort of her gift to herself. Her daughter brought her in and said, let's see what we can do. And today's bridge work, Lori, we've talked before, but it's all porcelain, again, no metal. Gave her a beautiful smile. We reshaped and whitened the lower. So this August, when her daughter gets married, she should have that big, beautiful smile. This is one of the best stories. This is about a husband and a wife. This Valentine's Day, a few months ago in February, on Valentine's Day, this gentleman brought his wife in. She said, what am I doing at the dentist's? It was somebody I had not met. They actually did a web search, clevelandsmiles.com came up. And on Valentine's Day, he brought her. He said, she's a lovely woman. She's taken care of our 3 kids, never took care of herself. We hear that time and time again. And again, with some reshaping, whitening, porcelain veneers, gave her that beautiful smile. And
excellent.
I have to tell you, she had tears in her eyes, and my whole staff did as well. And it's just a beautiful love story, in this case, a husband and a wife.
Oh boy. So bring a smile to your mom's face in honor of Mother's Day by giving her a smile that will last until next Mother's Day and beyond. Need help giving that gift? Give Steve a call. His number's next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, the battle to protect your brain. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. If you have a child with special needs, you need to provide for them even after you're gone. To learn how, attend a free seminar, Special Kids, Special Trusts, presented by the law offices of Solomon, Steiner, and Peck. The seminar will be held on Monday, May 11th at 7 p.m. at the Holiday Inn, Cleveland South, and Wednesday, May 13th at 7 p.m. at the Broadmoor School in Mentor, and on Thursday, May 14th at 2 p.m. at the Middleburg Heights Community Center. For details and to reserve your seat, call 888-236-5173 or log on to www.ssmplaw.com.
We've all heard the expression, time is of the essence, but this phrase could be life-saving when focusing on your health. Today, Candace Leahy is taking time to tell us why seeking care at the very onset of a stroke symptom is essential. Candace is an advanced practice registered nurse with Metro Health. Welcome to the show.
It's nice to meet you.
You know, so many times people have a twinge, an unexpected symptom, or just something happens and ignore it completely. But you say, especially if it's a stroke, you need to get it checked out right away.
Absolutely. We have a saying time is brain. So at the very onset of any symptoms, you need to call 911. Do not have a family member drive you. Do not drive yourself. Call 911 and have professionals take you to the hospital. We've had patients come 3-4 days after their symptoms started. Their arm is limp, and by the time we see them, there's very little we can do for them. So again, time is brain.
Okay, so time is really important. Now, when we're talking about these symptoms, what are the kind of symptoms that we should be looking for?
You can simply remember FAST. F is for face. So anytime you have a facial droop or a change in your facial position, call 911. Arms. If your arm is weak or uneven when you lift them up, call 911. And speech. If your speech is slurred or something difficult, words are difficult to find and use, then it's time to call 911.
So FAST, all right.
Yes.
So you don't hang around, you call 911 and you get there.
Yes.
Why are those particular symptoms what indicates a stroke?
Well, a stroke is a term used when a part of the brain is going without blood. Depending on what part of the brain is affected and how much of the area is affected, you get different symptoms. So we want to determine what type of stroke you have, so we need to know what symptoms you have and when they start.
Okay, and time is really important. Obviously,
Yes.
you've been pushing it. So how fast do you need to get the treatment?
As soon as possible. If we can treat symptoms within the first 3 hours, your chance of a great recovery is increased. So please call 911. When you call, the ambulance will notify us at the hospital that you might have had a stroke. We'll have a stroke team page out. They'll be waiting for your arrival, and as soon as you come, you get certain tests. A CT of your brain will be done to see where the stroke has occurred and what type of stroke it is. Then we'll do blood work, a full workup, and then depending on what stroke you have, we can do TPA, which is a clot-busting drug that will help the blood flow go to that part of the brain.
And you can provide this service very quickly because Metro Health is certified as a comprehensive stroke center, right?
Yes. Not everyone gets it. You have to meet certain criteria, and Metro has, and I'm very proud of us, and we're all very proud to have that recognition.
You get the best possible care then if you go there.
Yes.
All right. So when it comes to symptoms of a stroke, time is not on your side. If your face, arms, or speech are affected, the time to call 911 is now. My thanks to Candace for this timely advice.
Thank you so much.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or visit their website www.metrohealth.org. Next, is there room for a co-star in your Act 3?
It's time to get up and go, an exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're going to show you how to work the biceps and the back muscles by doing a seated row exercise utilizing our exercise band, okay? Ready to go?
Let's do
it.
this.
So we're going to start seated in a chair. We want our heels out in front of us with our toes pointed towards the ceiling. We're going to place the band around the arch of the foot. And once we're there, we can go ahead crisscross the handles just to make sure the band stays in place. Make sure you maintain a good posture. Pull your fists into your chest and squeeze your shoulder blades. Okay, exhale with exertion and inhale as your body rests. So squeeze the shoulder blades, fists out in front of you, 12 to 15. How you feeling?
Oh, it feels great.
Not too bad. All right, everybody, 2 to 3 sets. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
Your first act was childhood. Act 2 was career and family. And now you've arrived at your Act 3. This is your time. You get to do what you want, right? But wait. This isn't a one-person production. You have a co-star, the mate you married, and they may have their own ideas about this extra act. So how do you share the stage and create a happy ending? Let's ask relationship coach Kathy Dawson.
Hi,
so
Lori.
welcome back.
Thank you.
The kids are grown, work is
Right.
kind of tapering off. You're getting ready to tackle your bucket list, but your spouse has some different ideas than you do with regard to that.
Yes,
So,
this is-
what do we do?
This is so germane. So many people are going through this now with the baby boomers. And it's really important to look at your values because you figure you got together, hopefully, because of your values. Even though your interests might have been different, your personalities might have been different, it's what matters to you that really brought you together. So at this time in life, it's really important to scope that out and sit down and have a conversation about it.
And how do you start that conversation?
Well, I do this with couples all the time. I have them brainstorm with pad and pen and say, put down everything you can think of that matters to you, either as an individual or as a couple. Think about what you want to draw to you moving forward in your life. And you make an exhaustive list. Now, here's the tough part. People want to go, oh, I don't like that, cross that out, cross it. And I say, don't touch it. Just let it be and get a really good, solid list.
So you have something to start from. So,
Exactly.
So you're looking at each of these things and deciding what each of you like, and how do you rank them? I mean, how are you
Right.
looking at them?
I ask people to look at each one and rank them on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 means, oh my gosh, this is the dream of my life. 1 means, I can't stand this. I love the scale from 1 to 10. I use it all the time.
So do you just, say, okay, you're a 1, you're a 10, we're never going to agree, so we toss it out?
No, what that means is it's likely that that's not going to happen. So you just have to really look at other options, because it's really about compromise. It's about looking at what your options are and meeting in the middle. For example, I'm going to give you a real life example.
Okay.
I'm 58, my husband is 70. We're 11 and a half years apart. And he's starting to talk about wanting to go to like a retirement community, like a gated kind of thing down south. Oh, shoot me now, I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I could do it. So we have to really sit down and talk about this, because I'm still working. He's working too, but he's easing out of it. So we've come to a compromise that during the winter, we are going to get away for a period of time, but I need to be able to work from wherever I am, whether it's virtually, Skyping, whatever it is. We'll talk each year about how long we're going to stretch it out, because we got to get out of here.
I don't blame you. I'd like to as well.
The winters are killing us.
All right. So, but what if you do agree ultimately? You agree that you want to move to Arizona. You're going to get that motor home and motor across the country. You just like jump in the car and go do it?
Oh, no. Okay, say you want to go to Arizona. Pick the most extreme time of year to go. So it would be in the summer. And then spend some time there. And if you can take it and you like it then you know. So stay for at least 3 months. The motorhome thing, for goodness sake, please rent it. You don't want to just buy it and say, okay, that's it and it's investment. Because you don't know until you try it.
True.
Right.
Any other advice?
I really think it's just going back to just realizing you're not going to get your way 100% of the time. And know that there are moving parts, because you have to consider parents, sometimes, kids, finances, health. My husband had a heart attack in June. We have to be near a cath lab.
Okay.
So it's all these moving parts that are happening.
And it changes over time.
It does. Oh, and a monthly meeting. Review your list every month.
Make sure you're still on track.
Yes, and you can change it. It's fluid.
Okay.
Yes.
Your Act 3 involves you and your spouse, so follow Kathy's advice to write the script for this act together. You may discover a plot twist that leaves you both happier than either of you could have imagined. My thanks to Kathy Dawson for her direction on these decisions.
For more information, call relationship coach Kathy Dawson at 216-932-5016 or log on to www.kathythecoach.com. Next, ensuring access to your online assets.
Here, we're improving the health of our community. Here, a student sees a doctor without ever leaving school. Here, a stroke survivor regains the use of his right hand. Here, a foster child gets the consistent care he deserves. Here, and here, we're breaking new ground every day. So we can break ground here tomorrow. Be a part of the Metro Health transformation. It's good for everyone. Here.
Nowadays, many people save pictures online, have email accounts, and use online access to bank accounts. They might even have online accounts at places like Amazon or eBay. What happens to these accounts if you become incapacitated or pass away? Here to discuss the new world of digital assets is my partner, Michael Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
So now, I have a Facebook account. I have passwords for bank accounts. I have accounts, like I mentioned earlier, on Amazon and eBay. I've even got my photos that upload to the cloud after I take pictures on my phone. So if I die, what happens to all those accounts?
Well, unfortunately, the law is still decades behind on all of this. Ohio, like most states, have no laws dealing with how you pass along your digital assets. And so it's really governed by a hodgepodge of rules. Each website might have their own rules. Those are called terms of service agreements. And there's some federal law on this, believe it or not. But this federal law was passed in 1986, which in the world of the internet is really ancient.
Generations ago.
So, if people pass away, when people pass away, their digital assets go by a variety of different rules.
Okay. Now, you mentioned each website has their own set of rules. Now, for example, I have an email account with Gmail, so how would I know what those account settings would be?
Well, first of all, you should look at the agreement, which no one ever looks at, that TSA agreement. But, Google and Hotmail, for example, will let your fiduciary, the executor, look at all these records after you pass away. But Yahoo, for example, is completely different. They won't do anything unless you have a court order. There was a case a number of years ago when a soldier died in Iraq, and Yahoo wouldn't let their family look at any of his photos or any of the stuff he had on his Yahoo account until they had a court order.
Oh, man.
So each company is different.
Some can make it really difficult. Right. So what should we do to protect our digital assets so our loved ones can have access to them if something should happen?
Well, over the next few years, I think there will be laws passed in each state. They're already trying to develop those. But in the meantime, make a list somewhere of all your passwords and all your different accounts so that someone else can look at it later on. Now, the trouble is, where do you store that?
Yeah, you better keep it safe.
Yeah, if you store it in a place that no one else can get access to, you have that same problem. The other thing is, consider changing your estate planning documents to specifically bequeath your assets, your digital assets, to whoever it is you want it to go to. And think about changing the power of attorney. We talked about that a few weeks ago. Power of attorney to address allowing someone to look at your digital assets and to go online for you if you're incapacitated. So you should do all of that.
Good tips. Your digital assets like emails, photos stored online, and bank account assets are important. Make sure you plan for these assets just like you plan for your other money and property. If you have any other questions, give Mike a call. His number's next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplog.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, 100 Never Looked So Good. We'll see what Stan Hewitt has planned for its centennial celebration. Then, improving your health could be a walk in the park. We'll hear how one hospital prescribes nature for nurturing. Think you've stated the obvious in your estate plan? Well, maybe not. We'll help you avoid any errors. Plus, achoo! It's the season for allergies and asthma. We'll offer advice to help you breathe easier. And we'll update you on the Older Americans Act as it marks its golden anniversary. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates. Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.